While Canadians struggle with inflation, rising crime, and a collapsing sense of safety and order, the federal government's legislative agenda tells a different story, one that says more about its priorities than its rhetoric ever could. Of the first bills introduced this session, none meaningfully address the issues ordinary Canadians are most concerned about: violent crime, theft, economic stagnation, or restoring public trust and justice. Instead, Ottawa's focus seems more fixed on expanding its own control over speech, information, and the flow of data. Look no further than the bills themselves. The so-called Strong Borders Act and Cybersecurity Act sound reassuring on the surface, but both embed sweeping new powers for government agencies to monitor communications and direct telecommunication companies at will. The Combating Hate Act, under the banner of protecting communities, pushes deeper into the territory of policing thought and emotion itself, criminalizing symbols and speech that bureaucrats deem hateful, with definitions so broad they could silence ordinary political dissent. Yet, while the government finds time to legislate over hate, digital safety, and border data integrity, there's no serious movement to restore order to a justice system that's clearly broken. Judges continue reducing sentences for violent offenders based on race or background, invoking colonial trauma as mitigation. Police forces are under-resourced. Car theft and violent assaults are skyrocketing. Ordinary Canadians are less safe every year, not because the state lacks power, but because it refuses to use that power where it matters. If Ottawa were truly serious about protecting Canadians, its first legislative act would be to reform the criminal code, to end identity-based sentencing, restore mandatory minimums for violent crimes, and ensure that punishment once again fits the act, not the ancestry of the offender. Instead, this government has made hate and misinformation its enemies while treating actual criminals as victims. What we're witnessing isn't governance, it's control, a government obsessed with surveillance and censorship while blind to the collapse of public safety and trust. It's not protecting its citizens, it's managing them, and in a free country, that's the surest sign of decay.